Ah, the great outdoors. The perfect place to take a Toyota 4Runner. We're going to talk about the 2025 Toyota 4Runner and everything about this, well, very luxurious version. Plus, we got a little bit of a surprise for you. I'm Randy Stern, along with George Turtleline, and this is Victory in Reseda. The long-awaited 2025 Toyota 4Runner shares its platform with the VOTY 2024 winning Tacoma pickup truck. The exterior design mixes elements from prior generation models with a new, more concentrated shape. The LED headlamps lead to an upper grille that is unique to every trim level. The wheel arches are a bit squared off, and the roof line is more upright. You might notice the C-pillar glass, which is reminiscent of a couple of previous generation models. Our limited tester pours on the luxury with this bright finished grille. The front bumper area is more squared off and lower compared to its off-road ready siblings. A set of 20-inch alloy wheels finish up the look against this beautiful heritage blue paint finish. Inside the 4Runner Limited is a mix of luxury and purpose. The instrument cluster is fully digital with some customization. The center stack is dominated by this 14-inch infotainment touchscreen that is a hub for connectivity and a set of camera views. Most of the controls are tactile and logical to use. Storage is plentiful too. You gotta love a chunky steering wheel and shifter that fits right in your hand. The seats are leather trimmed and the front ones are heated and ventilated. They are on the firm side but quite supportive too. This particular 4Runner Limited has the available third row of seats. They're best for small children, and they do limit overall cargo utilization. With all three rows up, you get up to 12.1 cubic feet of space. Fold down to the third row and that space expands to 44.8 cubic feet. With the second and third rows down, there's a maximum of 84.4 cubic feet of space. If you get a two-row model, there is up to 90.2 cubic feet of cargo space. The Limited comes with both the iForce Turbo and the iForce Max engines. Our tester came with the iForce turbocharged 2.4-liter engine that delivers 278 horsepower and 317 pound-feet of torque. An 8-speed automatic transmission sends power to a full-time four-wheel drive system featuring a Torsen limited slip center differential with a locking feature. There's so much to discuss about the 2025 4Runner, so let's join Randy and George as they hit the road.
So Randy, we're in the 2025 Toyota 4Runner.
Yes, indeed, the long-awaited 2025 4Runner, an all-new model based on the same platform as the Tacoma, the Land Cruiser, and the Lexus GX.
So a lot of parallels there.
Absolutely, but they seem to have all different missions. Now, even more confusing is that there are 12 of these trim levels on the 4Runner, which I've never seen before. So each one of those have their own personality on top of that.
Yeah, they've really detailed those trims to certain audiences, didn't they?
Certain audiences and certain purposes as well.
So we're driving the Limited.
Yep.
And the Limited gives you what, Randy?
A lot of choices. You can get this in a two-wheel drive, or in this case, we have the full-time four-wheel drive system. We also have a choice of 2 or 3 rows, choice of engines. You can get this in an iForce Max, as well as the iForce Turbo, which we have under the hood right now.
And we're seeing an average of what, about 19 miles per gallon on this?
Yes, and it's an improvement from last generation. Every time I drove the last generation 4Runner, I couldn't even get past 18.
That's an improvement.
It is. It's definitely an improvement. Then again, we're talking about swapping a V6 with a turbocharged 4, well, 2 turbocharged 4s, one being a hybrid.
And with this Limited, this is really kind of more of an urban vehicle versus a hardcore off-roader trim.
I wouldn't call it urban. I would call it more suburban, because this is the type of 4Runner that coddles you with luxury, but it's really made for very nice neighborhoods. You know, for families that don't see themselves going off-road, but they want the rugged look of a 4Runner. So this is their idea of what a 4Runner should be when you spend plenty of money.
But yet you still have the necessities of the four-wheel drive and the lifted drive height and all the things that come along with the 4Runner.
Exactly. But again, there's a choice of 4Runners. But before we get into all those choices, we should talk about some of the elephants in this room. Number one, this is equipped with third row. It's not exactly a third row for anybody to sit in because really there's not much room. And the seat cushions are kind of small. So when I talked to someone who's a 4Runner owner that had a 3-row version, they said it's good for small children, but putting them in there is kind of a task.
So access to the third row is a challenge.
Now it's actually quite easier this generation because the second row seats flip and fold, so therefore making access quite wide. It's just that the chore of getting out is a different story.
Especially if you're larger than what's intended to be back there.
Exactly. And there's a solution to the third row, and that is fold the seats down. If you don't need them, you only need seating for maybe 4 or 5 people, and the second row does that very well. Also, it expands cargo spaces. Very useful when I was coming home with this from the Mama Spring Rally at Elkhart Lake.
Yes, plenty of suitcases and gear and all that kind of things.
And my rollator.
That's right.
Exactly.
Although, if you really don't need that third row, you can still get the Limited with the 2 rows, not the third, and you get a little bit more cargo that way, right?
Yes, you can get this in a 2-row model. In fact, I highly recommend it, because who really uses a third row in a 4Runner?
Now, with the Limited, the drive mode choices are a bit different than some of the other trims, like the TRD Pro and TRD Offroad. So we do have Comfort, which we're in now, Eco, to try to eke out all the performance, Sport, and Sport Plus, and a custom mode.
I'll tell you what else is missing on this Limited. You have 2 probably of the best tools you can get on an off-road ready 4Runner. Downhill assist control and crawl control. You don't see this on this model because this is the full-time 4-wheel drive system as opposed to the part-time, where those 2 tools really come into play.
As well, you do have the tow haul mode to help with towing.
Yep, and you can tow up to 6,000 pounds in this thing.
A little sport mode action, right?
Not exactly clean, but it will get the job done.
Yeah, it's got power, but I think that the softer sprung suspension gives it a bit of lean and roll, but it is a 4Runner.
Exactly. But you know what? All of this talk about how it performs in the Limited makes me think of one thing. What a 4Runner really is made for. And you know, someone in this vehicle actually did take it as intended with another 4Runner.
Yeah, I had a chance to take the TRD Offroad off-road. And at the Mama Spring Rally, they have a really nice off-road course set up. And we happened to have a lot of rain, so it was very muddy. So that had a mud mode to give you the most traction in muddy situations. And it did a good job. We had some hills to traverse that we had to climb, and rutty areas and limited traction. It did a really nice job.
And a water feature.
Big puddle at the bottom of a hill to splash. Yes, it was great.
You see, and that is what a 4Runner is intended to do, is to get away from the highway and have some fun. Now, that's not to say that the Limited is made for that. It sort of is, but you know, we got to find a happy medium to take this and to show its prowess. So now, this is where you'll most likely see any 4Runner. little gravel dirt road in the middle of the country, you have the license to take your 4Runner wherever you want to go. And they've done so since day one. So, and you're going off-road, deep off-road like we just saw, or we're going onto a little gravel road where you really don't need much. However, you have 3 4-wheel drive modes. It's a full-time system, but if you flip this into what's called H4L, the L means lock. That locks the center differential, so you'll be able to get maximum power to all 4 wheels using the torsion system. As we mentioned before, the Limited does not come with downhill assist control or crawl control. So we're just pretty much winging it if there's anything up ahead that's kind of difficult. But right now, we're okay. It's a really nice piece of gravel.
Now, since we are in the 4-wheel drive with the center locked, right, we should have plenty of traction, right? If we, oh yeah, not a problem.
Yeah, it certainly did the job. You have 20-inch alloy wheels with all-season tires. Still does fine job gripping.
It didn't break traction. It laid down the power to all 4 wheels evenly, so I felt I had plenty of control.
And better still, we're still right side up.
How about that?
Yes.
The throttle, the gas pedal, it likes to get up and go.
Yes, it does. It really does. And what's even better is that this does a better job in terms of acceleration without resorting to a V6 engine, because that is the big up on the 4Runner. These Turbo 4s do a much better job performance-wise than the old V6.
And when you're driving around town and just driving it normally, it doesn't feel strained at all. It just seems to effortlessly just get up and go.
Exactly.
Let's look at the brakes a little bit here.
Does very well on gravel.
Good brakes. The pedal feels very nice. I like how it modulates the brakes, not just on the gravel, but also on the pavement. It does a nice job.
Huge plus though, because you may never know what conditions you're going to run into.
You still have plenty of the comforts with the Limited.
Yes, you do, although there's a feel of glamping in this vehicle. I mean, not a bad thing, mind you. Some people like to glamp and really go hardcore camping, or hardcore overlanding at that.
I mean, you've got this huge infotainment screen that is really amazing to see from Toyota.
Not only that, but it's got 2 mapping software. I mean, the one you use with your smartphone once tethered, but also a native system that is part of this particular package.
So onboard navigation.
Correct.
Nice big screen for the instrument cluster.
Yep, got all the readouts that you need.
Shows us the drive modes as well as the 4-wheel drive system. And along with your travels, the interior has plenty of places to stash your odds and endsy things. In the door, you got places to stash things as well as bottles and just loose items.
Exactly, your phones, your maps, your separate GPS units, I mean, everything. You're ready to go with all these cubbies and stowages. I mean, on the door, has multiple on the door here. You've got a side one in the center console. Geez, you're pipped for stowage here.
Yet they still retain a lot of the tactile aspects of what we're seeing in Toyota, with large dials for your climate control and physical buttons for some of the key things for your climate.
It's great to see that. It really is, because of course lately there's been a lot of pushback on haptic touch or using a touch screen. Having tactile, including big tactile knobs and buttons, that's going to help a lot of people do their job of driving and utilizing the systems in this vehicle.
You still have many of the luxury types of things, the heated and ventilated seats, climate control and all that.
And again, not all 4Runners come with all these luxuries.
So pick your trim accordingly.
Exactly.
So in summary, Randy, what do you think of this 2025 Toyota 4Runner?
I think they nailed it for various different reasons. They stuck to the core competencies of what the 4Runner is all about. Off-road capability, performance, especially with the iForce Turbo and iForce Max engines. Efficiency is up, the ride quality is fantastic, the braking is much better, the absence of dive from the last generation. They've really stepped this vehicle up, and they had to. We've been waiting for a long time for a new 4Runner that is competent and that does the job. I think those who have 4Runners now should really look at the new one.
In our thermal imaging test of heated surfaces on our 2025 Toyota 4Runner Limited, we found the front seats offer good heating element coverage from the upper seat backs and down into the seat bottoms. Heating elements also extend into the seat bottoms side bolsters for additional comfort. Heated second row seats can be found on the Platinum trim. The heated steering wheel on our test vehicle had a unique heating element pattern we have not seen before. We found heating elements around the outside and inside diameter of the wheel, however lacking coverage on the front surfaces between the 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock positions, except around the 6 o'clock area. This translates to more warmth for your fingers, but not so much for the palms of your hands in these regions. Outside, heated side mirrors provided good heating element coverage and are standard on all trims except the SR5. The rear window heating elements offered good coverage across the window, and on the windshield, the wiper park positions provided heating elements to help keep the wipers from freezing to the glass.
There are 12 trim levels available on the 2025 4Runner. You can get some in rear-wheel drive, but most will be equipped with one of 2 4-wheel drive systems. Pricing starts from $40,770. Our 4-wheel drive limited tester came with a sticker price of $62,875. So if you like what you watch, don't forget to click like, subscribe, and the notification bell to find out when our next video comes out. And don't forget to read our great content at victoryandreseda.net. I'm Randy Stern along with George Tarline. So long, everybody.